Hey everyone! Hey, good morning! Hello, it's Rita from Miss Rita to the Rescue, and it's time for Cricut Chat. Friday Cricut Chat, the last day of the week for us this week, because there was no date night on Saturday night. Just want to reiterate that in case anybody shows up. I'm sure there's going to be somebody who shows up and says, I was looking for you. That happens. Anyway, so you guys, we have just had the most wonderful week at making 3D things on our Cricuts with our Cricuts. And I am approaching this, and I titled this video, We Can and We Will, because I tell you, yesterday I tried very hard to complete the baby owl and also to complete the whale's tail, and I did it. I did do it after much persistence and work. I did do it. I can't say that it looks fabulous, because it doesn't, not to me anyway, but I feel like I accomplished something, and I'm ready to do that fox next week. But today we're going to actually work on the owl. So the owl is, I called it a baby owl because I think that it feels like it's a baby owl. So this is my rendition of the baby owl, which it didn't turn out so terrible, but I will point out this. I used liquid glue and all of my pen smudged on the outside. And so there's that. And I did not like that. So, and then I did have a little bit of trouble getting it sort of attached. The bottom piece went together just smoothly, and I sort of worked some things out. So I'm going to show you what I did. I also want to show you the whale's tail, which is really fun to do. However, I don't know, both times I tried it, and I did actually get it done. Let me turn it over so you can see. It's a little messy here. Both times that I tried this, I couldn't get it to stand up. So I went back to look at the directions, and I looked at the picture quite a bit, and I noticed that on the picture, where is the picture? It doesn't show it here. Does it show it here? No. But if you look at this picture, it appears that it's not flat. So, which gave me the thought that maybe there was something under there. So maybe I didn't do it wrong after all. I mean, it doesn't look pretty, but I did do it, and I wasn't going to give up. I very rarely give up on anything. You could say that I am probably one of the most persistent people you know. So I feel the same way about the owl. I do have my hot glue in, and I have my liquid glue because I'm going to use both today, and I already did make a few steps towards finishing it. So I'm just going to jump right in. I'll say hello to everybody, and I'm so glad you can join me. This is the sort of thing that if you like a challenge, definitely try. If you are not long on patience, it might be worth just watching what I'm doing and maybe trying it when you're feeling particularly patient, okay? In this file, you can only make it. You can't customize it. I wouldn't want to customize it, but it makes it a little hard for me to talk about when I can't show you the canvas. But here is the project. It's this adorable little baby owl sitting on a platform. He's got these cutesy wings and little toes and eyes and a beak. It's very cute. The unfortunate thing here is because of the color, you do end up having, because you're playing with the paper so much, if you're not super careful, you end up with all of the writing that's on the inside gets kind of liquidized, and then you have to be very careful that it doesn't show up on the outside of the owl, because that's what happened to me. All right. You could, excuse me, not sure I have the cough, but you could change up the colors if you wanted to. And actually, I changed my gray to be a little darker gray. And let's go ahead and hit make it. I just want to make one point on here, and that is that it is, you do need a scoring stylus or the wheel for this. And there are, as you can see, let's see, there's six mats. I would recommend, since it does take quite a while to work through this, is to reduce it down to, I don't know, 4. The white we're going to keep here. That looks fine. But here on this one here, this piece is all sort of by itself. So I'm going to move it. And I think it will fit on this first piece. They're all the same color, and you see how it just moves and goes there just fine. The reason why it does that has to do with the bounding boxes around the pieces, and so that is why. Okay, so you can move that. That's going to eliminate one of the mats. And then for the black, it's cutting on 2 mats. So I would use that triple dot again and move it to this. Now you have to do a little bit of working around because again, from the bounding boxes, it looks as if it's not going to fit. But we have this wonderful tool of turning like this. And if you turn both these pieces sort of like this, you can get them all without any kind of overlap. These 2 pieces and then the pieces for the eye and the beak. Okay, so when you go to hit cut, when you go to the cutting, you end up with only 4 sheets of 12 by 12 to make this bird. Okay, I'm not going to show you how this cuts out because it's basically all the same. If you've done any of the 3D, you're going to put your paper on your mat with the good side down. There is a definite side to the paper, especially if you're using Cricut paper. One side is very textured, almost pebble-like, and the other one is more of a linen feel. I put because I used Cricut paper for this. I put the pebbly side on the bottom, like facing the mat, and I wrote and scored on the opposite side. Now, one of the things that could have been a problem for me with the gray on the owl was I did not use Cricut paper, and it was kind of like shiny. I think it was paper from Michael's. It was kind of shiny. Yeah, it was paper from Michael's. And I think that's what caused the pen to run the most. So I think if you use more like papery, I don't know if that really explains anything, but papery sort of paper, like Cricut paper, the pen, which is the Cricut pen, really, it just kind of soaked in and it wasn't like on top of the paper, so it couldn't really smudge. That's what I'm finding. So, cut this all out, get all of your pieces together, and now I'm going to spend the rest of the time putting this thing together. So you're going to end up with 3 colors. So here are all of the gray pieces. Now, for my purposes, just to make things easier this morning, I did already assemble all these pieces. There's like 6 gray pieces, right? And the first one, which I have labeled 1, also has this this like play, I think that's what I would call play or go symbol with the circle around it. And then the last piece has a stop right here, and it's on the white. So for me to understand and conceptualize this, I felt rather than just starting and working my way through, I thought if I sort of connected all the pieces and understood what, like just connect it at one place, which is what I did, but sort of understand that this is going to become a 3D model. And so here is how it sort of is going to go together. There's the front. And you see this is going to go here with the eyes, and the feet are going to go here. And then this becomes sort of the head, and these are the wings. So it takes a little bit of extra time to figure this out, but I would suggest you attacking it this way, is sort of kind of piecing the pieces together. Just find one little place. It's like here where I just pieced it to this, the 1 to the 2, and then I went from the 2 to the 3, and then I chose this as the 4, and then I wrote on this one, I don't know, that's 5, that's 6, and then the last piece, 7. 7, 8, okay? So now all I need to do is, since I put together sort of the structure, and we'll work on the base and the eyes and feet in a second, okay, is I have to now go through and start attaching these. Now, one of the things that you need to be careful of here is some of the numbers have this V, which I did not understand, and I think it was Melissa Montez that told me this, but that stands for a vertical or a valley fold really. And so there are two things to know about creating 3D things, and one is that that you have to work kind of in order. That's the first thing, kind of in order, because at the end, when you're putting it all together, if you're not working in order, if you're working, say, from the back to the front, it causes problems with those final pieces that need to be glued. That's the first thing. And the second thing is that when you have a V, it indicates it's a valley fold. There are two folds. There's mountain. Mountain fold looks like a mountain. So I'll give you an example. This is a mountain fold. Most of these are going to be mountain, right? But a valley fold looks like a V. Valley. Mountain, valley. So that's what those V's stand for. They stand for valley. So when we get to them, they're not going to be this way, they're going to be this way. And once you can kind of get that in your head, it makes things a lot simpler, and it does help you quite a bit. So I'm just going to start gluing there. There's not so much to kind of tell you about this. Is just you're going to match up the numbers, and it's not like a straight, because we're not making a straight thing, we're making a very rounded thing. So it's a little less flat, because it's 3D, of course, but you're going to always have these sort of, where you put these tabs in, and you have to sort of bend the paper a little bit to create that curve, right? And this is where I had a little problem, because I put the glue in here. And then when I attached the glue, the first time I did it came here, it like liquefied and sort of squirted out, even though I did not use a lot of glue. But here we go. I'm just going ahead and starting at position number 1. And I'm trying to glue all of these pieces. Now this will glue to the other side, but we won't do that part yet, right? So here is going to be, I think it's like is it his belly? This is yeah, no, this is his head. So it's a little bit difficult, as someone suggested. Sometimes you have to just get up and walk away from a project, and I did not do that yesterday. So I was feeling very frustrated yesterday, and I was ready to just kind of go, you know what, I'm not gonna do this. I'm not doing it. I'm not having a class tomorrow because this is too hard. I mean, I get that. That way, you guys, there's sometimes you just don't feel like doing it. And I would never force you to do something you don't want to do. That's why, I try to do a variety of projects so that you guys can say, nah, I'm not really cool on that, but I want to try this, so I'm going to hang around. That's why we try to do all these different projects. So just to remind you that that if 3D is not for you, and it is for me, but I can sometimes get full up on it, I'll be honest, then hang around still for the camaraderie, but also you might learn something that will be applicable to another project, like when we did the moving of the mat. So you see here, we're creating the head. Isn't that interesting? It's kind of got a rounded shape. So, yeah, Shirley, I think, did this before, or she did the fox. I'm not really sure. But you have to take the time, before you start gluing, take the time to set up all of the pieces sort of together. I don't want to say before you start gluing. If you find two pieces that we're going to work together, then glue them just in one place like I've done. So that way you can kind of get sort of a concept of how the entire thing works. So that's all I'm doing here, folks. I've got a friend whose daughter just had a baby. Her name is Elaine. And they named the baby after her, but they're going to call her Ellie. I just saw a picture of her. She's so adorable. Anyway, my friend Elaine, who's been so encouraging, she was so encouraging during my my cancer treatment and everything, and she says, you do the next, when you're working on a project that's a little overwhelming, you do the next step. She used to be an elementary school principal. Isn't that funny? You just do the next best step. Like you can't, it's important to see the whole thing, but you have to stay focused on what you're doing, which is really kind of cool. Sort of like that whole forest for the trees type of thing. And I totally agree with her. And I was getting really bogged down in the forest yesterday. So I am just going to focus on the trees. And I think you should do the same when it comes to a project like this. So that's all I'm doing here. You're just, I don't know that I can give you a whole lot of teaching on this, because it's sort of the kind of thing you have to sort of, I don't know. You just have to plunge right in and do it if it's something you want to do. Obviously, if you don't want to do it, then skip it. Just watch me and enjoy the folks that come to the group and chit chat amongst yourselves. Talk amongst yourselves. So, let's see. I was looking at what's left to do. And now, provided they don't add more projects, because they are apt to do that, we're going to, on Monday, we're going to be doing flowers. We're doing the chrysanthemum. And I think we'll do 2 flowers because there are so many. There's like a lily, there's a chrysanthemum, there's a hibiscus. We did the rose, so I don't think we need to do that one again. But there are some others that I want to show you. I'm trying to remember. Lily. Oh, there's a tulip, which I think somebody did ask if we had a tulip. So even though it's really not tulip season, I think it would be helpful to show you how that goes together. I was thinking with the chrysanthemums of making a whole bunch of them so that I can create a fall centerpiece, like a bunch of flowers. I think you've seen those chrysanthemums. They come big and they come small, and I think if we fiddle around with the size, we can come up with a whole bouquet, which would just be beautiful, and you can have it out every year and put it away. And I think what we'll do is we'll try it in paper, but I might also try it in crepe paper. I just don't know if I have the right color crepe paper to do. And so we'll try it first in paper, and then we'll do it in crepe paper just as, just to see. So that will be Monday. And then on Tuesday, I was thinking that diamond looked pretty interesting to do. So I did want to do that. And then we'll do the fox. The fox may take a couple of days because I'm going to have to figure it out, just like I did with this one. But I will do it. I can and I will. So, what are you guys working on? Are you doing these? I saw some people doing some beautiful sunflowers. I'm so glad you liked the sunflowers. Here, look, there's the back of the head. This is going to come across over here just to kind of give that perspective. So what are you working on? Are you working on these 3D things? Are you still working on Christmas? I saw something that I really liked. Oh, I think it was a poinsettia. I really like poinsettias, and I thought we should do that, but it's not one of the 3D projects. But I can show you how I took a SVG that was free. I don't know if it was an SVG. It might have just been a JPEG, but it was a free SVG or JPEG that I got off of the internet for a poinsettia, and it's beautiful. And I think with Christmas coming, we might want to do that. I also noticed that Lori Whitlock has designed a bunch of new Halloween decks. I think they're called decks. Hexagon. They're not hexagons. They're decahexagon or something. So I don't know if you want to get started on Halloween and fall, but I do. I feel a little weird about doing Halloween and fall in August, but I won't do it in July. Isn't that weird? But I just won't do it in July. But I will do it in August, but sort of sometimes a little secretly, because everybody's like, oh, well, the summer is still going. See, here in New England, our summers start later. Our kids go to school later. And so the whole idea of summer being still in process, it makes August a little bit hard because we see all of those back to school things and everything, and my kid and all the other New England kids, I guess, are all like, it's not over, it's not over. So please do not, make it happen too soon. They usually don't go back to school until after Labor Day here in New England. Sometimes it's like a day or so before, but so look how this is sort of coming up. This is his head. I'm going to start doing this white part, but before I start to do that white part, I want to show you how to do the eyes and the feet. So the eyes and the feet are these little tiny things. Not the eyes and the beak, excuse me. These two that are exactly the same, and this piece that's the beak, okay? And it's very small, and because it's black, and I used a black pen on this, because I used like a gold pen, but it was too thick. You have to go and be very careful about really folding on all of those score lines, okay? So this is one of the eyes, and you're going to basically right here, create sort of a star like this, if that makes sense. This is what it looks like, okay? So we're going to glue right here where that eye is. All right. I love Christmas too. I love fall stuff though too. So I get to the place where everybody wants to do Christmas again. Like we always do July, and then I get to a place where it's like Christmas again. So there's the eye. And I'm like, I don't want to stop doing fall. So if I start fall early, maybe that will be it. And I know you guys have different things going on. Like some people work in schools, and some people are retired, and some people have extensive card lists, and I am a card maker by nature, so we will get back to all those lovely cards soon enough. So here are my two eyes, okay, and I'm actually going to push these out like this because of the way these go on. So there's my two eyes, and here is the beak, and the beak is going to go together like this. That's the beak. I know it's hard to see, but this is how it's going to go together. If you see the numbers will match. And these parts are going to go up. They're valleys. They're valleys, okay? All right, so let's get the head part in, which is right here. And I was disappointed because this paper got sort of colored, and that's because that was from my mat, the sticky part from my mat. So I think it will come off if I rub it a little bit. So, okay, so this is the front of the face. So I'm going to turn it onto the back, and you'll see actually better. So there are the eyes and the beak. So here's the beak, and it's going to go in with the long part like this, right? And that's why we fold out these. We're going to put a little tiny bit of glue on these tabs. Long part down, and press it and hold it in there because we want it to show through, cover that hole. Okay. Just like that, and then we'll take the eyes, and you see how these all say V, 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 that if you could read this, it would be the same thing. And so here is the eye going in. We're going to cover that hole. I'll show you what it looks like on the other side. We're going to put a little tiny bit of glue here. The feet come later, but they are small, just as challenging, okay? So hold it until it catches. See? Same with this one. Put a little bit of glue. Yep. Put a little glue here. I think if I do the whale's tail one more time, I've done it twice already. I think if I do the whale's tail one more time, then I'll get it right, because the first time I did it was such a tragedy. And then the second time I was like, yeah, I'm kind of getting it, but it just doesn't look so good. Okay, so there's the face. You see, there's the eye and the beak. I apologize for my paper being sort of colored. It should be really white. So we're going to work that in. I did already work this piece and sort of placed it so you can see how it's going to go. Let me just kind of show you. So there is the back of the head, which we just finished, and then this is going to be the front. So we're going to put that all together, and you'll see that the numbers, so it's a little hard at first because the pieces have different numbers, and there's some of them, the numbers are supposed to be on the same piece, but most of them are not. So let's go ahead and try to get the face or the head of this guy on there, and then finish up the body. I think this is probably the best way to do it, because it is like becomes sort of like a hollow thing. Now, I want to point this out, but this is the wing. And I'm going to show you how to put the wing together, but it is a rather funny thing because it wants to stick out here, and that's what we want it to make happen. So we'll get over there and do the wing. Okay, so we're going to put these two pieces together, but I need for that tab to come in like this, okay? And you want to get as close as you can, but I'll be honest with you, sometimes you're going to have a little tiny gap until you get, if you decided you're going to make these for a living, good luck to you. But you know, you'll get the hang of it. But if you're just kind of trying, this has to go V. Uh-oh, Nana has her TV turned up loud. I wonder what she's doing. She's been working on a puzzle these days. All right, so just to give you an idea, head coming along, back coming along. I think I need a little more glue there. So see, this is a V. So it's going to come out like shaped like a V, like that. And then this is a mountain, even though it's not really like, it's like more of a hill than a mountain. Okay, so we're getting there, folks. I will do this. I can and I will. I can and I will. So, but you know, you gotta be patient with yourself too, not just the process, but with yourself. So here is the head. I'm going to turn it around like this. And what's kind of cute is that there is a little like peak that gives the owl's eyes shape, and that will go in there. You see 115 and 110, and this is 110 and 115. So just keep, you know, checking those numbers and working as diligent as you can to get the numbers matched up, because there is a number for every tab and then an opposite number for every place where that tab goes. Okay, I know you can't see what I'm doing, but I'm just trying to get the head in there. We're actually doing pretty good. So this, I'm actually going to put the glue here and try to get my fingers in there until but we have to keep our little eyeballs popped out. But like I said, you know, this may not be for you. And if not, that's okay. We're still going to be doing other things coming up. Christmas. I was thinking this year I'd like to do an advent calendar. Been wanting to do that for a while. Also would like to know if you guys want to do those really large sort of full-size pumpkins that we did last year. I love doing those. It's all made out of paper, but it is a paid file that you can get from SVG Cuts. But I just love, love, love making those. They're so beautiful. Last year I made it one in teal, like a teal blue. That was so awesome. It hung around until my cat jumped on it and kind of squashed it. So I had to squashed it. So, hey, Kathy Mordecai, are you there? Kathy, You need to send me an email, dear, because you won in July and I never heard from you. Maybe you didn't hear that, but I just now saw your name. You won a prize for being one of my patrons in July. Yeah. Okay, yes to the advent calendar. There are several kinds of advent calendars out there. There is one in Design Space, but it's sort of like a print and cut from Natalie Milan, which we can do, but I've seen some pretty amazing advent calendars from other designers. I'm actually surprised that Dreaming Tree hasn't done one yet. Maybe that will happen. There's some gorgeous box cards too that are, I want to do this one. This year we're making Thanksgiving special, as long as everything goes well with this, Delta variant thing. But this year I am making it super special. So I want to show you this absolutely adorable, it is from SVG Cuts, but this absolutely adorable turkey Thanksgiving card. Oh my God. It's beautiful. It has a plate and it has, it's just fabulous. It's hard to explain. And I'm doing that this year. I'm going to make them and send them to my mom. I mean, I'll only have my mother and my sister coming, but still, I'm going to make a big deal out of it. So this gets a little hairy at this point. Yeah, last Thanksgiving, actually, I'm trying to think. Last Thanksgiving. No, yeah, it was Easter that we didn't have anything last Easter. But last Thanksgiving, we did have Thanksgiving because I can't be a person that doesn't make cranberry sauce and pies in a whole year. And even though I was still going through my cancer treatment, this was imperative for me. Some things have to be a priority. And pie making is one for me. I didn't do anything special. We didn't have a whole lot of people over, and we won't this year, but I still want to make it special. Clean the house up nice. That's my problem. Here's what I was thinking yesterday, because now my mom's been here for a couple weeks and I haven't had a chance to really clean. Not that I really want to, because I hate to clean. I'd rather create stuff. But I was thinking, oh my gosh, after mom leaves, we have to go through and clean this house up because there's dog hair everywhere and there's, the guinea pigs need a nice pretty. I actually decided to change them over to blankets and they love it. They love the blankets, like these fleece blankets that I make for them. And they love it, but need to do that. And I need to get into, already did the garage all cleaned out and ready for the winter. But I have a couple other places where a lot of stuff kind of accumulates, craft stuff, good stuff. But one of them is my attic, and the idea was after Nana left that I'm going to bring all that stuff up from the attic, all of it down, and decide, because at a certain point, I don't know if you guys hit this point at all, but it's like some things you just don't want to do much anymore, and yet you have a stash for them. Like, for example, like I like to sew, I like to knit, but one of the things that I have knitted a lot of in the past is sweaters. So I have a lot of yarn like hanging around. But then I went ahead and I wanted to make this sweater, and I didn't go and try to find what I had in my stash. No, I went and bought new yarn. And so I'm thinking, sometimes you have a stash and just sitting around, somebody else could use it, Sorry, I'm super chatty today. Okay, so we're going to bring this over, but I want to show you how this works. So see here, it's sort of like sticking out. let's move this. So see how this is the wing and it's sticking out? Well, you have to sort of do a few things here that are a little bit difficult, but you see how this is 33 and then 33 is here. So it's kind of a sharp turn, but that's what makes the thing. Yeah, sorry, I am chatty today. So yeah, I gotta go and clean up my stash. I have stuff upstairs. I have stuff in the basement. I think I now have like 4 Christmas trees because I never want to get rid of one, you know. I'm like, oh, I need a new tree. Like last year we got a new tree that has like, it's pre-lit and it changes colors. So you can do white, you can do flashing, you can do colored, and I'm like, oh, I love it. But I don't want to get rid of my existing tree. So I'm like, all right, I got to keep it. So I have trouble parting with things. So this will be a big challenge for me. But, all right. When I was going through chemo and stuff, I realized, you know, there are just some, we're as Americans, I don't know if Canadians are the same way, but we just accumulate stuff. And I started thinking, I know this is a little morbid, but I was saying to myself, I don't want for my sister to be the one that has to clean this up, you know, if something were to happen to me. So I started, you know, thinking about what things do we keep and what things do we give away. And so that's what I was thinking. And then also, you know, you hit that halfway point in your life and you're like, okay, what do I want to accomplish in the other half of my life? And one of the things that I said to myself was, and I actually said to my friend Elaine, the one I told you whose daughter just had a baby, was I want to make a sweater for myself, because all of the sweaters I've ever made were for somebody else. It feels a little selfish, but I want this sweater to be for me, and I like cables, so that's why I decided to have cables on my sweater. And that's the sweater that if you're on my timeline or whatever you call that, your wall, you'll see my cable sweater in that Delft blue. It's really a beautiful blue. All right, so while we're doing this, I need to make sure that this back is sort of puffed out. Here we go. So it's coming along. Can you see? We're making so much progress here. I'm actually super surprised. And then I want to show you the feet and also the little mantle that goes on. I think I dropped a foot. I did drop a foot. I'm going to have to pop down and get that. Right? I think so. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. So the sweater is, it's for me. I'm like, finally, I make a sweater for myself. You know, honestly, I've made so many sweaters in my lifetime and gave them all away. And some of the people ended up giving them to them. I used to make a lot of kid sweaters. I made Owen sweaters. So I do have those, but some of the ones that I've given away, I don't even know if they really appreciated it. And they were kid sizes, so they couldn't wear it for very long, right? Because adult sweaters are big and they take a much more material and like the yarn. And I also make these gorgeous mittens that I'm going to show you. They're New England mittens, and they're like a double knit with 2 colors. The most amazing mittens you ever want to have. And I remember I would make these mittens, and they take a while. And they're from a very old book that it's like a Yankee book. That's what it's called. And one of my dogs, he's not with us any longer, but one of my dogs, when he was a pup, attacked my mitten and ate one of them, and I still kept it. I was like, I worked so hard on this mitten. He was a puppy, and I was like, what am I gonna do? I'll make the other one again. I'll make it again. Nah, I never did, but I kept the chewed up one because it was so pretty. It was like a red and green. It was a Christmas ones. They were so cool. Hey, look, it's coming along, you guys. Don't you think? So see, there is something to be said for doing it twice. And then I do need to get in here and make the sort of tail connection. So like I said, you know, unless you're doing these for a living, which I don't know anybody who'd want to, but I suppose there are people that do, then, you know, you have to just be patient with yourself and just, I love just sitting here chatting while I'm doing this. I hope you love it too, because for me, this is the best way to spend my time. All right, so there's the back coming along, and there's the front, and it is sort of like turned, like an owl turns its head. So let's talk about the feet. So the feet are two white pieces, and they go together almost like a triangle here. And there's two of them. And here where it says 45 and here where it says 100, I'm going to show you. There's the 45 and there's the 100. And this is our last piece. And can you see why? We had to do the entire thing because before we get this in there, we need to get the feet on. So we're going to then put the feet here. Here's 45, okay? Just like that. And let's put that in there. I'm going to then jump to the pedestal in case you guys need to run. But and then we'll come back and finish up the rest of our. I keep calling it a penguin too, but it's an owl. Wouldn't a penguin be fun? I think it would be a lot of fun. And then you could put a little scarf on him. Maybe not a paper scarf, maybe a real scarf. Okay, I'm getting a little weird. Okay, so this is where the feet are going to go. And then here's the top tab, and that top tab's going to match with the number on there. And we're going to put that. But let's do the base, because I like the base. And it's not really attached. You have to sort of glue the guy onto the base when you're done. So it's like two pieces that look like this, right? So this is going to be the bottom, this is going to be the top. That's how you'd put it together. So we're going to put it together here at this tab. Right here. This is the inside, obviously. And if you want, you can just kind of fold it in half. Get some of that glue remnants off and fold it in half and close it up because it's sort of a box. See? And then we're just gonna glue the sides and get it in and close it up like it's a box. Because it is a box. All right. And we can get our fingers in there on the inside so I can make sure that that glue is holding. You can do this part before you put the two pieces together as well. I mean, I don't know which is easier. All right. So tomorrow we drive up to New Hampshire, where my sisters will be waiting and already picking up a box truck. And that is a 4-hour drive if you don't stop, which I'm not a keen person to. But yes, we're bringing Santo and a helper, so they're going to be able to take the bigger pieces and get them on the truck, and then we'll drive back the same day, and hopefully if we can move all the stuff. I mean, I don't know if we'll have time, so I'm not leaving tomorrow until 10:30 because that's when Santo can go. So 10:30, and take 4 hours, and then we're gonna, get everything on that truck, and then drive 4 hours back, and then hopefully, if we still have energy, get the stuff at least into my mother's apartment, and then she will be able to move in formally on Sunday. It's a big project. But we can and we will. There we go. So there is the end. You're going to hold it there a little bit. But there is our pedestal, and we're almost ready to finish putting that. And I think what I will do is I'll hot glue the owl to the pedestal. So this is it. We're going to go in and do the last remaining bits. So I don't know if I should do this part first. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe what we'll do is do the feetsies first and work our way through. That might be. They gave us a hole for that very reason, so that's good. Move this in here and get those feet. Feet are tough, the feet, because they're separate pieces, but you want 3D, you gotta see. This is what I was talking about. The pan leaks a little, so do be careful of that. Thank you, Tanya. Okay, so now we have to, this pops in actually. See? Oh, it feels so good to do something right and to have a finished project that makes sense. But it does take patience, as I mentioned before. So, and my feet came out. My feet. All right. So this part is super tough. Thank you. I don't know that I'm actually giving you any instructions on this. It's just sort of just show you how I put it together. But I think at the very least, you can decide if you want to do it based on what I'm doing. I finished up my fruit slices yesterday. I wanted to show you those before I let you go. I did actually 3 different sizes of the fruit. This is a tough spot right here. I think it maybe goes like that. And now since we're working on the outside, I can't double check the numbers. All right, let's Let's see if that looks to me like the proper way. And look at his back, sort of puffed in a little. I gotta pop that out. But look at his cute little wings and his head. So, gotta get these guys back in. I think maybe. It's getting there. And then I'm going to just glue it just like that. So what are you guys doing this weekend? Are you gonna be enjoying the weather? Going on a trip? I know our friend Shelly is driving all over Kingdom Come. She apparently doesn't mind 10-hour car drives. Me, not so much. But Owen wants to go to the Moose Festival that is at the end of August, but I don't know. I don't know that there's no guarantee we're going to see any moose, I told him, but it's a festival to enjoy the cultural aspects of a moose, if you can believe that. That's what it is. That's way up in Colebrook, New Hampshire. Honestly, I'd rather go to Maine and maybe go to the beach, Maine. He wants to also go to Portsmouth Navy Yard, which is right on the Maine border in New Hampshire, Portsmouth, New Hampshire. And there are these islands that are right off of Portsmouth. One's called Isle of Shoals, and the other one's called Star Island. You can actually take a ferry to see them all, and a couple that you can actually get out. There's one of the oldest hospitality, like a hotel on Isle of Shoals. We have got a lot of islands off our coast. Of course, the Massachusetts ones being Nantucket, which I don't like Nantucket. Too many people. Like too many rich people. Isn't that terrible? I don't care for rich people. I like regular down to earth people. And but Martha's Vineyard, which I love, I want to get him over there. I don't want to go to see moose. I don't know. He's like enthralled by the moose. But I guess in Portsmouth, you can also take a ferry to Nova Scotia, which I think that's where Dorothy Martin lives, right? Nova Scotia? I think that would be fun. Take a ferry all the way to Nova Scotia instead of driving up the coast of Maine to get to the place in the ferry, which is at Booth Bay, I think. Might be farther than Booth Bay. Old Orchard Beach. Yeah. Here we go. We're done. Yeah, I don't know. They're big. Moose are big. I mean, they're really huge. And they're a little overwhelming. I mean, you're from Nova Scotia? I would love to go. I have not been. I've been to Canada many times, but never to Nova Scotia, which is weird because some of my family is from there. Yes, I do have some Canadian roots. So here's what we're doing. We're going to put hot glue all over the bottom of this owl so he stays on the base. I'm even going to put some onto the side here because I really want him to stay on the base. And let's put him on. I kind of put him on not nearly as. And here, Kennebunk Port. Yeah, I used to make soap for the Kennebunk Inn. And they had a nice little place there, and they'd have like a winter festival every year. All right, you guys. I think we did it. Yay. I mean, I'm still not so happy with the feet, but owl feet are kind of weird looking anyway. They're kind of okay, so there's our baby owl. We did it. Hooray! Anybody that's here still, give me some love, because boy, this was a labor of love. So there is our beautiful bird. Let me show you the original one I did. Did not look so hot because of all the, but look, I messed up at the feet the first time too, but I could probably go back and try to fix that. But if you want to try the owl, or even if you don't want to try the owl, it is there for you in Cricut Design Space. And I hope that you give this or any of the wonderful projects that we did this week a try. Remember, we did the lotus, we did that gorgeous sunflower, we did watermelon slices, we made crystals and strawberries, and let me show you the citrus slices that I did. I changed it up so that I'd have yellow and green. Isn't that cute? And there's my mother coming to say hello. And what else did we do this week? Isn't that funny? What else did we? Oh, we did the puffy heart on Saturday night. And we will be back on Monday morning with even more fun things. Somebody told me, it was Carol, our Canadian product expert, said these would look really good on a buffet table for like a barbecue or maybe even a lobster bake. I thought that was a great idea. So I hope you try some of these. All right. And you guys have a great weekend. Think of me as we're moving all that stuff, and we'll see you again on Monday. The fruit came out I really liked it. You know, the fruit, the lemon. All I did was take the original pattern, which was this big, okay? And I made it smaller, made lemon, and then made it even smaller, made lime. And I was thinking for the original, I would make oranges, okay? All right, everyone. Take care. Have a wonderful day. Hope you get some crafting in. Bye.